First pitch from the group is Don Ho, and he is going to be pitching his startup.
I'm just going to sit if that's okay,
Sure.
if that's good for you. My name is Don Huff. I'm the founder and CEO of the Tucson Technology Company. It's a low-cost software development company. It's going to be located in Haiti at one point, and later on we'll duplicate the company in Ghana. The key things we're going to do outsourcing, we'll do professional services, and we'll do new product development. It's something that's never been done in the Caribbean. It's been done in dribs and drabs, but not in major companies. 5-year plan is to have 2,500 people in the company across outsourcing, professional services, and software development. We had the crash in 2008 and 2009, so there's a lot of pent-up demand for IT services in a number of different companies. Our markets are going to be in the Caribbean. They'll be in Canada, Europe, Africa, and later on the United States. The United States is pretty saturated right now, but we'll be going after those other key markets right now. The professional services will all be done in country, so if there's professional services to be provided either to the government, to private businesses, to other organizations, we'll do it in country, whether it's in Haiti or in Ghana. Will also probably be priced in the neighborhood of 20 to 40% less than India's rates of today. So we're kind of setting the clock back probably about 15 years at least, maybe 20, when you start talking about rates, even including technology and infrastructure costs. So the main things we have right now, we have an advisory board. I have 2 people on the advisory board. I'm looking for a CFO. I'm looking for a CTO. I'm looking for about 4 other advisors on the advisory board. Right now we're seeking an initial investment of about $2.5 million to get things started in Haiti, and probably about the same amount, probably a little bit less, to get things started in Ghana. Well, I've been involved in I've been involved in IT for probably 30 years. I've worked for large companies. I had a 10-year career with IBM. I've worked for Bank of America. I've worked in all different kinds of roles, from president all the way down to, I've been a developer at one point for way back. I've worked in professional services. I had my own company. I've been in startups. I've started up companies. Kind of all of the things that we're trying to get done in Haiti and Ghana are things that I've been, accustomed to. I've been through. I've been involved in them in some form or fashion. So about 30 years. My wife is coming on. She's from Haiti. She's coming on as the COO, and she's got a long history of setting up companies, setting up the policies and practices that need to be followed within them. And again, I'm looking for other senior team members.
I was wondering how the Haiti bridge began. Yeah. Okay, got it. Okay. You want to get a couple points of feedback?
Sure.
Okay, does anybody have any questions? Helpful hints?
Is the development resources in Haiti, or is the target market?
It's both. So we will build a we'll have a base camp in Miami, and we'll build a physical location in Haiti, and later on in Ghana. We're going to have a pretty substantial location. If we're going to have 2,500, 3,000 people working there. From the resource perspective, we're pulling people from universities. Many of those universities, different than the U.S., are private or privately funded. So it's a little bit different than when you look even at something like COC. But there's resources down there. What we're also going to be doing is drawing down Haitians that have a strong desire to go back to Haiti. Now that the earthquake and everything has kind of settled down a little bit more than it had been, but we intend to bring people in from the diaspora and bring them in as mentors and coaches. So I just had a phone call today with somebody who runs a privately funded school there that does nothing but computer science. And so we've drawn a verbal agreement today that as he begins to have graduating classes from this year forward, that we'll begin to pick off the cream of the crop out of his school.
Byron?
How do you plan to raise awareness and drive interest? I'm assuming you partner with different companies
rock star marketing and sales. I mean, I think the thing that sets this apart differently than a lot of companies is that whoever fills that role and builds that part of the organization, they're going to have to be part ambassador, part salesperson. They're going to have to, the running joke has been we have to have somebody that refuses to take no for an answer and will always look for creative alternatives to sell solutions. This is something that people are not familiar with. I mean, we all know the pictures that we saw on CNN for days and days and days, rubble and death and a lot of things. What people don't see is the strong commitment and desire, not only of the Haitian government, but of the private community and investment community to bring this place back up to where it was at one point. It was fantastic at one point, and it can be there again. They had an investor conference in December with about 1,000 investors, and 500 of them are all seriously going to bring some big money back into the country and build it back up better than it probably ever has been.
Okay. Voldy?
Since it's a service company you're starting, couldn't you just line up a project and then get the funding that way?
We've worked on, well, we have, and we've been working on building a queue. The problem we have is we have to have enough funding to hire people. So we need a building, we need a facility, and the facility is in Haiti is going to have to be mostly self-contained. We're going to have to buy generators. We're going to have to, buy some special equipment to provide infrastructure in, where you might not, here, you just take it all for granted. Down there, things like water for the facility, potable water for the facility, we'll have to have that trucked in. Electricity, we'll have to have, probably a 200 plus, kilowatt generator that will run almost day and night. We'll have to have, primary and backup internet connectivity. I mean, we'll have to bring all that in and get it all set up. So it's not as small of a thing as if we tried to set up an apartment around here someplace and throw a bunch of developers in there and say make something cool. It's very different because we're also trying to attack three different things. So if we're going to go and provide a presence in Haiti, that's one thing. But they're going to expect us to be there and to be available to come back over and over. If we form up some sort of an outsourcing commitment with a company in France or Canada, they're going to be waiting for us to, they want to know where our building is. They want to know where our resources are. And so for us to form up something kind of on a project basis kind of puts us on the teetering edge of whether we're really there or we're really not there.
Okay. I think otherwise we can keep going, and we got other stuff to do. Thank you, Don. Appreciate it, buddy. Good job.